So, welcome to another Ultra Aha. And as you can see, this is not my usual background. Sitting in a hotel room in Sydney, and it's a classic example of life just really just is in charge at the end of the day. I wasn't meant to be in this hotel room. I was meant to be catching up with some very dear friends in Orange at the end of a incredible week. My son was married over the weekend. And what's that got to do with an ultra? Well, it's really interesting, and it's a further explanation about the value of understanding yourself through this incredible tool that epigenetics has given me. And this month or this week, I should say, with my podcast, I'm also talking about a topic which is really dear to my heart, which is succession planning, and particularly with my matriarchs and my beautiful women who are in business on the land. Again, what's that got to do with ultra training? Well, all of this stems through the same thing. And over this last week, not only have I been training for the ultra, and we are now starting to head down into, I think I've got 5 weeks until I get on the plane and go to Bali. So I've only got 2 major big runs left to go. And so a big chunk of the work is done. But while I was out at my son's wedding, out on a family property, I still managed to run, which was awesome. And on those runs, I was reflecting on my journey in succession planning and the understandings I now have in my epigenetic profile as a diplomat. And it all comes in together. Because the interesting thing about so under the epigenetic profile that I work with under PH360, the profile I came out as predominantly as a diplomat. One of the biggest things for a diplomat is when I don't have all the information, or there's not a plan in place, or there's not enough information for me to create a plan, then I get incredibly stressed. And I didn't really know that. What is really interesting is that when I was living as a daughter-in-law, on the land in a family business, one of the greatest challenges I had was the fact that I didn't actually know where we were going. And I would constantly be trying to get information about that. And when you're in a multi-generational business, they can be really challenging questions for those in the higher levels in the business to answer or even want to answer. Now, what my great reflection on this has been is if I had known more about who I was and what was super important to me, I think I would have been able to frame those questions in probably a lot more productive, maybe less challenging way. And out of that whole process, the communication that we could have had might have been a lot more productive. But we never know that. And I'm not sharing this with any major regrets at all or remorse about it. It's more fascination and curiosity that here we are down the path of, it's wow. I think it's almost 15 years since we left the family farming business. And also it's, we're now bringing a beautiful daughter-in-law into our family, not into business particularly yet, but there are plans afoot with our real estate business that she probably will. And one of the biggest things I think I've learnt over these years through things like epigenetics, through doing the ultra, like just, giving yourself the time to go and train and spend that much time reflecting on your life as you are doing this running training and seeing the patterns of life and starting to, really put some information together. I think it's become really powerful. So what this really means is by having my epigenetic profile and getting more and more understanding and working with that understanding, it has given me such a level of awareness, not just as I train for this ultra, but as I do life daily. And in the future, as I do business daily, as I do business in an intergenerational fashion. And it's just incredible that all of this information has come to light, and it is easy to now put all the information together as I reflect also with regards to succession planning and helping my gutsy ladies that I work with who are in the midlife and wanting to move forward within their businesses, but also for themselves. So I'm just so grateful that I've learned all this, and I wouldn't have come to epigenetics if I hadn't made the choice to take on an ultra. Quite a significant thing to take on. But where does this help you? Where can this help you? Where is it that taking on a challenge that you're considering would actually give you, like, reap rewards in other areas of your life that you haven't even been considering? Because as you know, I'm only sharing about my ultra ahas really so I can help you to give yourself the courage to take on whatever your version of an ultra, something that seems almost impossible for you to do, but there's a part of your being wants to have a crack. Well, as I've said in this, the more information that you can get about yourself through that process, the more fruitful, productive, rewarding the process will be. I hope this is of interest. And as I said, we're coming down almost into the taper element of my program, and can't wait for that.